This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. Funding for Arkansas highways has been troubled in part due to fuel efficiency in recent years. Better mileage has resulted in fewer tax dollars collected on gas taxes, coupled with paralysis in Washington, D.C. over a new long-term highway funding bill. This week, Transportation Secretary Anthony Foxx said federal transportation funds for projects across the state would expire at the end of May this month. State highway officials have already been paring back millions of dollars of contracts ahead of this announcement due to federal funding uncertainty, which will eventually take a huge toll on the all-important construction economy here in Arkansas. Now, Governor Asa Hutchinson has created a task force to look at new alternatives to highway financing, similar to a 2009 Blue Ribbon Commission. But are there any new ideas out here? Well, one legislator may have found a new idea worth exploring. Joining me now is Representative Jett, Democrat from Success. He is the House Revenue and Tax Committee Chairman. Thanks for being here.
As always, good to be with you.
Joe, you have an idea. Your idea is what?
Well, back during the session, my colleague, my good friend Dan Douglas, had his highway funding bill, if you will, and just for respect to him, I didn't put this out, so I just kind of held it back in my back pocket. But bottom line is, it takes, once we fund all of RSA, the
Revenue Stabilization Act.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The money flows back into unallocated fund balance. And what I'm proposing to do is take 25% of that once we meet RSA, our Revenue Stabilization Act, and pay our bills. Take 25% of that. And we went back and BLR took a look at the numbers, if you will. And for the last 10 years, I think the numbers come out like for the whole unallocated money was like $475 million.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit higher than that. We've got that graphic. Let's pull that up real quick and take a look at it. We can look at how those numbers track from 2005. You can see 25% of those surplus funds you're talking about were $76 million and some change. The next year and the next year, a little over $100 million. Go on to the next slide there, and you look at 2011 and beyond, and it peters out a little bit. There were a couple of 0 years there, though, too, which has to be some cause for concern. But you add all of that up, Joe, and it's $478.4 million, nearly $500 million. You could do some significant work with that.
Yeah, I mean, basically we could do the asphalt over paving through the summertime. This is not a complete fix, but it's a start. And basically what it is showing my colleagues we don't have to just go out and arbitrarily raise taxes to find money to help the highway program.
Now, this proposal that you're suggesting today has not been endorsed by anyone. You haven't filed any particular interim legislation or anything to look at this, just an idea, a concept. What are you going to do with this? Are you going to take this around, start working with your colleagues and trying to gauge some feedback?
I floated around to some of my colleagues a little bit, but I think what we're going to do is just give it to the Highway Task Force, let them tee it up, give them something to kind of take a look at right out of the gate.
Now, one of the things that you might want to think about, particularly when you're looking at those numbers that we looked at earlier, there's been a lot of tax cuts in the last legislative session. There's appear to be a few more, at least interested ones on the horizon. You got general improvement funding spending, which is also comes out of that surplus money there. So do you think that your colleagues would be willing to maybe pull back on some of that?
Well, I mean, the alternative is going to be a tax increase, because basically what we did in the 89th General Assembly, we cut $150 million worth of taxes. In the 90th, we cut $100 million, and I'm on board with both of those. I'll work through both of those and help push both of them. But if we turn around and raise taxes in the 91st for the highway funding, basically what we're doing is we're doing a bait and switch on the people of Arkansas. So, yeah, to answer your question, there's going to be some pushback because of people want their projects. But at the end of the day, you know, we're looking at raising taxes. We're trying to find a workable solution to fix this problem.
All right, I can't have you on the set and not ask you this question. Off subject here. Super Projects special session coming up May 26th. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you on board?
I think we met today for about an hour with AEDC folks, and what they presented to us, it looks good. And if something's amiss, I don't know, but right now I'll be on board with it.
All right, he's Representative Jett. Thank you for being here, my friend. Appreciate you very much. He's the chairman of the House Revenue and Tax Committee.